Good afternoon. I am Tony Dattino, the founder of the USA Memory Championship. It's been a wonderful day. It's a Saturday here in Orlando, Florida. The temperatures are in the mid-80s. Had a chance to go out and do my run this morning, do a little bit of swimming. But most importantly, I had a chance to do some reading at breakfast. And I was just fascinated by this article that I was reading on classical music. Classical music, healing more than just the soul. And as I read through this article, I just needed to move this up at the top of my list. I had not read much on classical music and its impact on memory, its impact on our brain functioning and our health. And this is written by a Dr. Denning, D-E-N-N-I-N-G, who's a doctor who focuses on wellness and prevention and how do we maintain and improve our own health. And so this article featured the whole science behind studies being done on classical music. So let me go. Our body reacts, so first thing, our body is reacting to the vibrations, the rhythm, and the tempo of classical music, and it certainly does that on all music, right? Just watching people listening to hard rock or any music, or just watch their moments. I was talking with a neighbor saying she was on a Zoom where they were playing some music, and the instructor was talking about the origins of music, and the next thing she was up out of her chair and she was dancing to the sound. So the first thing we want to know is music impacts our body and how it reacts to vibrations, rhythm, and tempo. But they've done studies that classical music can help solidify your mind and deal with some of our anxieties, our stresses, by just listening to classical music for 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And so some studies have been done on that. And so we'll start with Johns Hopkins. I think we all know what Johns Hopkins is all about, where participants with Parkinson's showed improvement in movement and vocal expression by listening to classical music. And you say, whoa, Johns Hopkins is doing something with classical music. And then along comes Cornell Medicine, a graduate out of Cornell University, developed a musical and medical medicine program that formed an orchestra, and they provided many concerts for patients and families and the hospital staff, and showed an impact on the recovery and the benefits that had on family members and people in the various units within the hospital. That's Cornell. I think we've heard of them. Then comes the Anderson Cancer Center. I believe Anderson is in Houston. They have a pianist. And he's a surgeon, and he believes in the healing power of classical music, and he provides can you believe prescriptions to patients to listen to classical music being given by a cancer doctor, which I've heard from years ago, a cancer doctor in New York City talking about the impact of classical music. Dr. Conrad, who's from the Anderson Center, also discovered that ICU patients can be spared sedative medications when listening to classical music. So, wow. Now, that's only the beginning. It's only the beginning of it. It's like this article, I couldn't read these paragraphs fast enough. Fortunately, I know from some of our maximum memory mastery techniques that are in our online course, I know how to do some of the reading quickly and highlight what I wanted to cover. But I got so excited about this. It changes blood pressure and blood flow, and also the body surface temperature that we have listening to classical music. I mean, this article was just endless in the benefits of classical music, and now I get to the big kahuna here, right? Classical music will reduce stress and anxiety. I'm sure you've heard me over the last several weeks talking about stress and anxiety over COVID, but it also enhances our memory and our ability to improve our memories, our ability to retain and recall information. And it got me thinking about, boy, wouldn't it be interesting to do a study of people working on our Maximum Memory Mastery online course and playing some classical music in the background? And wouldn't that be an interesting study to see how by listening in the same mode of learning, how that would enhance our ability to get into our encoding brain and then reduce our levels of stress if we're studying for an exam or a test or anything that's really creating some anxiety within us. Wouldn't it be interesting to see how we would react in a study mode? Because as it says, classical music shows to improve alertness and concentration. That was my broadcast just a few days ago. How do we stay constant? How do we focus? And I hadn't thought of, hey, go listen to, put classical music on. So earlier today, I put on some classical music. And you just kind of float through your day. It just, up until this broadcast, it kind of had brought me down. And then I get so excited about a Zoom call I had just gotten off of in terms of some of the things we've got going on in our memory work. And I get to the Saturday afternoon live with Tony, and I'm like all excited to share these with us. So what it finds is classical music improves our alertness, concentration, which improves our productivity and enhances our memory. And even some studies are showing that it helps with people with early dementia. I mean, this is about the closest thing to free lunch that anybody could have by just putting the right music stations onto your TV, to your radio, to your iPhones. And what a difference it can make. So we talk blood pressure, the body's vibrations, our skin temperatures. Can you believe this? Our focus and our ability to concentrate. Our ability to learn and improve our learning capacities. It will also, boy, I've done 5 studies, 5 Live with Tonys on sleeping, right? Studies have demonstrated that classical music will also improve your quality of sleep. It helps people with different traumatic events and even helps to minimize pain that we're feeling. Now, let's flip this. This is a new generation of music. Classical music. Some studies have been done where they look at heavy metal. Now, this is nuts. Heavy metal. So a student, I want to just get this done, a student out of the Virginia, a student in Virginia was approved by the Navy and CIA where he did a study with mice. So now this is a mice deal here. So again, we look at mice as a way to enter the human brain without using human brains for it. And this is one study you sure wouldn't want to have done. But this was a student that did this and actually won prizes at a fair and an expo. But he understood that the effects of music on a mouse going through a maze where they listened to classical music and found that by listening to classical music, the mice could go through the maze in 8.5 minutes faster than anything else. But here's the scary part. He put the project to compare classical music to heavy metal music, and he cut his study short because mice exposed to hard rock music took 20 minutes longer to navigate the maze. 20 minutes longer to navigate the maze, but why did he cut his project short? Because the mice in the hard rock study were killing one another. They didn't have any mice left. I know for myself, when I listen to hard rock music, my brain says to me, shut it off or get away. I'm not sure what hard rock does to our brain. Here's a study was done that, in a Virginia school that basically has not been repeated, but boy, my God, if this is what mice are happening to it, and what's happening to mice doing this, like what happens to humans listening to hard rock? And especially in the day where we have so much tension. As I was talking with somebody the other day, they said to me just the anger levels that people have right now from the anxiety and stress of what to do, what not to do, has just reached an all-time high. And so here we can go add hard rock music to it and say, my goodness, the mice were killing themselves, and what do we do? And so we go to classical music, we go to academia, and we start to study, and we say, and don't forget to check, and what do? Check your library or check your music stations, where can we learn a little bit about classical music? What were some, Mozart pieces and Bach pieces and different great minds that created classical music, and what can we learn about it now? Because this article is just, so I'm going to go find out more about classical music. Boy, we're in that learning mode. We're in Zoom time. We're into stay at home. And boy, if classical music for 30 to 45 minutes a day makes these kinds of differences to human stress, anxiety, memory, learning, concentration, focus, and brings us to a level of empathy and compassion in how we deal with one another, and can even minimize our loneliness or isolation. Boy, this is like buy one, get 10 for free. The benefits that this has are just enormous. Classical music. It's not just healing more than the soul. It's the human experience that affirms that certain kinds of music have profound impacts and effects on our brain and on our physical well-being. That's what I was excited about to do for my Saturday afternoon live with Tony. If I can send at least a few of you off to go listen to some small piece of classical music for 10 minutes today, send me some notes and let me know how that worked out. And until then, have a wonderful Sunday after day, and wherever you may be, we all want to get to the other side. So stay safe, be smart, masking, washing, distancing. Be smart, don't be careless. I'm hearing too many stories about schools, kids, and whatever getting too close, epidemics shutting down. Time out. It's not over. Be smart. I want to get you to the other side. I want everybody to take a look at our Maximum Memory Mastery online course, and we're going to be picking up lessons all the time. I'm reading every day, and I always love to share what I'm learning from my live with Tony audience. So have a good one. We'll see you on Monday. I'm back in at the 7 o'clock hour. And I love doing these